Maize farmer Lucky Khumalo is having a bad season. His harvest has dropped by half because of poor rainfall.
It's dry and it doesn't look like the other years when we had enough rain the previous season. You can see even the stalk is not as thick as it should be.
This is the worst drought Khumalo has seen in KwaZulu-Natal in 20 years. He's due to start planting maize in a couple of months, but this year the soil may be too dry to do that.
It means a big loss. You can't even cover the cost of planting and doing all the other stuff, like the inputs, the diesel, wages for people who are helping you. It means a lot. You can't even break even.
It's not only crop farmers who've been affected by the drought. Livestock farmers rely on grain to feed their animals. With demand outstripping supply, they're feeling the pinch of rising grain prices. In the last year alone, the price of grain has risen by more than 50% due to drought and a fluctuating local currency. Cattle farmers now have to improvise to make sure their livestock survive the lack of water.
Cattle need more water to drink during winter time. You need a lot of money to put diesel in a tractor and fetch water if you can't afford to put water pipes on your farm.
The conditions have caused maize production to fall by more than 5 million tons this season.
The biggest problem for the farmers after a drought is they've lost half of their maize crop. They haven't got enough money to plant the next year, so the finance is a big problem for the farmers, and they haven't got enough assets to go to a bank to say, listen, help me.
Usually a net exporter of the crop, South Africa may have to import up to 750,000 tons of maize to feed the country this year. Still, several southern African nations, including Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho and Swaziland, rely on South Africa for up to 80% of their maize imports.
Okay, neighboring countries have to buy our maize at a much higher price because we're linked to the international market. And if there's a drought and there's not enough, it pushes up our prices.
While those countries will receive most of their supply, it's added additional pressure on an already struggling South African maize industry. Famida Miller, Al Jazeera, Newcastle.